Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 8th. This week, you have this card that says you and your loved ones are safe. You also have this card that says a time for healing. So, obviously, you have an eclipse in your sign this month on the 21st. And so, if I were a Virgo, that's definitely something I would focus on is healing. And I'm not a Virgo. I'm actually a Pisces, of course. And I am focusing on healing right now. So, again, I think it would be good for Pisces as well. But you're obviously a Virgo. So again, I think it is an amazing time for healing for you, to focus on anything that you want to heal, to focus on releasing things that no longer serve you. All that would be a good idea. Looking at this reading here, Virgo, one thing that I would focus on that you could heal is kind of like anything that is preventing you from reaching your full potential. Those moments where you hold back or where you feel like you're not good enough. Things like that, right? That's what I would be focusing on, because that's probably the best thing you could focus on right now is those like internalized beliefs, those internal things. That's it. That's it. You have the Six of Pentacles, the Three of Swords, and the Seven of Cups. Three of Swords, it can be a card of healing. I always say Three of Swords, yeah, sure, it can be heartbreak, sadness, but those swords are in your own heart. The trick with the Three of Swords is to remove those swords from your heart through forgiveness. So we don't have to forgive a person directly. We can just forgive them in our heart. We can also forgive ourselves for maybe not doing things that we thought we should do or whatever. So definitely something to focus on. Six of Pentacles is about starting small. It says you don't have to go crazy and do a million things to heal. You just have to kind of start small, do this, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that, and you will heal. So I feel it would be a great time to focus on healing, planting seeds, all that other good stuff with the Six of Pentacles. I, of course, would only give to things that are giving to you. That's what he is doing. He's giving to this person, not this person. I don't always feel this, but I do feel it's very important for you, Virgo. I would say not even just this week, but for the rest of the month, even probably October, November as well. I would make sure that if whoever you are giving to, that you are also receiving something back from that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm getting here on the Six of Pentacles. And yeah, I would just pay attention to that with the Six of Pentacles in general, is kind of like equal give and take, paying attention, all those other things. You also, by the way, I didn't say this, but you have two sixes here. I love two sixes because two sixes is kind of confirmation for your path. It says you're moving in the right direction. The things that you're doing or your thoughts are going in the right direction. You have the Three of Swords. There's definitely something that needs to be healed, but I always get this for you, that you need to focus on the fact that you are enough. Anywhere where you hold back, anywhere where you think, I can't share this, I can't do that, those are the things that I would focus on healing. And again, yeah, it's an action. You are going to have to make this a focus. So I would do whatever you can to focus on, like I said, healing, kind of working on those internal blockages that prevent you from sharing things or speaking up or whatever the case may be. That's what I would focus on here. The other thing I'm getting is that this week right now, I'm recording this video the week of the 1st. So today is the 2nd. This video will be published on the 3rd. This week is kind of weird. There's just a weird energy to the week. So it is popping into my head that you should, don't be too worried about this week. I'm talking about the week before the 8th if you're watching this reading early. And that's that. You have the Seven of Cups. I feel you need to make a dream real. We all have one more shot here, I believe, to really make something happen. We have Saturn, and Saturn has retrograded back into Pisces, and Neptune will also be retrograding back into Pisces. Neptune in Pisces is the big impossible dream. But the blessing is that we have Saturn there, which basically says, yeah, if you want it, you can have it. You can, if you want something and you set your mind to it, you will absolutely create it. So I feel it would be a great time for you to make sure that you're doing things to work towards that big dream or that big impossible dream, that you're doing things to ground it in reality, right? The funny thing is that we have the Hierophant to the Two of Wands. The Hierophant might be sometimes a little bit too realistic, right? The Hierophant is a good card for a dream in some ways because he communicates with both sides. He is the bridge between heaven and earth. And so he can bring a dream down to earth, but again, he is maybe a little bit too fixed. He might be a little bit too much inside the box. And so he does encourage outside the box thinking. Same thing with the Two of Wands. This person is standing where they've always been. They need to open up to the world, which you have the world right here. They need to, this person needs to realize that there are many different options in the world if they explored the world. There are many different ways that they could do things, right? And so I feel it's encouraging variety. It's encouraging you to like open up and, go find other ways of doing things in life. So let's see here. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Four of Pentacles, which is the Ten of Pentacles, by the way. So a lot of you could be improving your finances here or doing things to improve your finances with those two cards. The Four of Pentacles is kind of like feeling a little bit boxed in. I do feel that some of you could feel limited in some way. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, but I also don't feel this is bad, what I'm saying here, Virgo. I feel this is more something to pay attention to. I feel this is something also that you are going to be feeling, if I can say that word enough, this month of September. It's not bad, but I feel some of you could be feeling almost like there's this like ceiling to your financial abundance, where maybe you think, oh, I'll only ever be able to make this much amount of money. I feel that those two cards, plus the Six of Swords, plus the Two of Wands, the Magician, I feel that is encouraging you to exceed your expectations. I feel like those cards are saying you need to break that ceiling, right? You need to bust through it, and maybe we will get some details here on how in just a second, but let's see. With the Three of Swords, you have the Knight of Swords. I think everybody needs to be careful of past people this week, especially with that Pisces eclipse on the 7th. Even though this is for the week of the 8th, doesn't matter. Eclipses can last for a while. There's something about it. I just think it could be making people, really kind of feel their karma, basically. And so I would be careful of anyone rushing back in from the past. Because it could break your heart, could hurt, obviously. Even if you would never take them back, it doesn't matter. It's like we cannot take a person back and they could still say something that hurts, right? Or they could admit something or, kind of say something, so I would be careful. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a big offer. It's a big-ass cup, right? I feel a couple of things here. Number one, there definitely could be new love coming in for you. You have the Two of Cups. So if you want love, I feel there could be a new person that's coming in for you here. Of course, you've been getting love with me. I think you did in the September bonus reading as well. So it could be love. But also with the Seven of Cups, this basically is saying you need to pick one cup. There is one thing that you want to bring down to earth. And the Ace of Cups is encouraging you to do that. The Ace of Cups is saying, yes, you need to bring this one thing into this reality. And if you do that, that will make you very successful. So, again, I think it's a great time to bring something down to earth. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Time is Up card. It says, no second chances, no revisiting, there's something better waiting. Yes, there you go. You have this Exploration card. It says, right now you need to search and explore. It's okay to wander until you find your home. Yes, Seven of Cups, Two of Wands, the world. We talk about this a lot, Virgo, especially right now. We are in a time of variety. I can't really explain it. I wish I had a better explanation for people, right? But since the middle of the year-ish, I've been getting this message that imagine if all you've been doing is putting salt and pepper on your food, right? The time that we're in, it's almost like everybody is discovering spices. And I feel that, Virgo, where we are in this time where we all could be discovering a little bit of spice, but we are going to discover that through exploration, through learning new things, through learning from other people, through doing research, right? And so if there's anything in your life that's become bland or boring, things can become routine at times as well. It's like this channel. Sometimes this channel becomes routine for me, which is usually a problem. So I do things like I mix up it might sound silly, but like mixing up the Oracle decks gets me excited. Sometimes I do the Celtic Cross because it gets me excited, again, to do the readings, right? So I do believe we have to add some spice into our lives right now. And there's a million things we can do. The other thing is I'm always learning about tarot, right? I'm always reading books about it and things like that. It just gives me new perspectives on the cards. I'm always learning astrology. That gets me excited, because it gives me new perspectives on the energy, right? That's how I spice things up, is I do my research, right? And I feel the same thing for you, where it's like, yeah, sometimes things become a little bit routine in life, but how can you make it more interesting for yourself? That's how I stay motivated to do 1 billion readings a month like I do, right? And I want to do it. So there's the other thing. But, again, doing that, it gets me excited, so I want to do it. You have the Six of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Six of Wands. Again, 2 sixes in this row as well. So definitely very positive. I feel 2 sixes is great. Basically says you're going the right direction. 6 of Swords is moving on to calmer shores. Definitely improvements. I do feel this is kind of like a good improvement month for you in general, Virgo. But there's a big difference. This month, I feel improvements are not just going to happen. I do believe there are months where we just kind of get led to an improvement or multiple improvements. But this month, I feel would be a good month for you to pick an improvement. To say, I want to improve this thing right here. You have to be specific. There's something about that popping into my head intuitively. So I would pick something you want to improve and then go do something to improve it. The beautiful thing about Saturn, and we have Saturn retrograding into your opposite sign, Pisces, right now, is that Saturn, I always like to remind people, I think Saturn gets a bad rap. Saturn is easy energy to work with. Saturn doesn't care how much you do. Saturn just cares that you take responsibility for something and you integrate it into your day. Saturn is amazing for just saying, I will take this one tiny little step every single day towards this improvement. Saturn's like, sure, great. And if you do it and you stick to whatever the tiny little improvement is, then you will get big results with Saturn. It might take a little bit of time, but you will get there. So I would pretty much encourage everyone to pick one thing they want to improve and, go on YouTube, right? There are a billion videos on YouTube every second about pretty much everything. And so whatever you're trying to improve, go find a video, go look for an improvement and implement it and see what happens. You have the Hierophant. Yeah, blessings. I feel good bad about this in some ways. I wouldn't really say bad, but I just feel that I feel good because he is, again, the bridge between heaven and earth. I feel that your vision is clear on what you want to manifest right now here, Virgo. You have the idea of it. But I feel that just a little bit outside the box thinking would be a good idea for you with the Hierophant. I also feel like being willing to be a little bit of a rebel here with this card, I also feel would be important. The other thing is definitely love. This could be a person that you will marry. If you're already with a person, some of you could be with a Taurus, I'm getting, with that Hierophant card. And I'm pretty sure Taurus has come up for you quite a bit. We have Taurus with the World as well. But it could be a Taurus, could be any sign, of course. This is a general reading. But if you are looking for love, definitely could be a solid connection. Again, if you're with a person in love, this is a solid connection. You have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is like a victory or a big success coming in for you. So I do feel there could be a victory or a big win or a big success coming in for you here. And yeah, that looks really good. I also feel that I do feel forward movement, which is weird. I don't consider the Six of Wands to be a forward movement card. It's just a card of victory. He's having a win. He is coming back from war. That's the story of the card. He's been through something difficult and now he's coming back. That could be very good for you, Virgo. It's like you've been through challenges. Now you're kind of releasing those challenges and moving forward. We have the Eight of Cups right here, which is one of the best cards to get during an eclipse. Why? Because it's the only card in the tarot that has an eclipse on it, right here. And so it says you are kind of choosing to walk away from things that no longer serve you. And who knows, you're walking towards whatever the hell you want with the Magician. Because the Magician says you can have whatever you want, right? Kind of like that T.I. song from back in the day. You can have whatever you like, right? So let's see what's going on here. With the Six of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. We are not in a lucky time, but there is something about luck. I literally just said this to someone else that, I said at the beginning of Uranus and Taurus years ago that Uranus and Taurus wouldn't be lucky. I literally predicted that we would see record high lottery numbers. The Powerball, I think, is at over $1 billion right now. So I definitely wasn't wrong. Why? Because Uranus and Taurus does not get rich quick, right? And so we have to, Uranus and Taurus wants us to establish something and then we'll get rich over time, over a long period of time. But really, this is a good thing because Uranus wants us to create things that are built to last, right, for a very long period of time. In Taurus, Uranus is in Gemini, but it will be retrograding back into Taurus on November 7th. So, again, we basically, all this to say that it is actually a lucky time if we choose to create our own luck. So a great way to do that is to add some more spice, like I was saying earlier, to the things that you're doing. Coming up with new ways of doing things, coming up with new ways of working, new ways to spice up your work, to get excited about it, all that stuff. And that is what will create the turnaround. With the Six of Swords, of course, this could just be a turnaround that's coming in for you. With the Hierophant, you have the Strength card. Strength is patience. I feel you have been very patient. I feel like you have been putting in the work. I kind of feel also we talked about you believing that you are enough. And the Strength card, she has her hands in this lion's mouth, and she is taming her inner voice or her inner critic. That's the whole point of the card, is that she is the one that's in control of her inner voice. So it would probably be a good time to take control of your inner voice here. With the Six of Wands, you have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, I do feel like you're very attractive at this time, Virgo. It doesn't matter what gender you are. You have the Two of Cups right next to it with the World. Literally saying if you want love, just put yourself out into the world and you will attract a person. I also feel that you could be being attracted to something here. You have some cards here that really say, like, go for it. You have this go the distance card here and stuff. So, the Six of Wands, Two of Wands really wants us to go for it as well. I would love to see, like, an ace come up here. Like, one of the aces, like the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Swords, but... Oh, you have the Ace of Cups, but, again, I would love to see, like, the Ace of Wands or Ace of Swords come up in this reading, but I feel here that if something is seducing you, if something is exciting you, you should move towards it. It's like she follows her excitement. Next in the area of messages from your future self, you have the Slow It Down card. We literally just talked about this with Uranus and Taurus. Yeah, I know Uranus is not in Taurus right now. It'll be November 7th that it officially retrogrades. I don't care. It's, astrology is like a wave. I tell people all the time, we want to catch the wave early. You have this releasing card. You're clearly releasing something, so there's really not much to add here that we haven't already said. So there you go. You have the Two of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Two of Cups. Yeah, I think a lot of you could be releasing a comfort zone. He has built a castle. Haven't I said this to you before, Virgo? I really feel this energy for Virgo, where it is like you are building a new kingdom in your life. You're building your next thing. I don't know how to say that. You are being led towards building your next great, masterpiece or something like that, which, I'm pretty sure I've said this to you recently. Something stands on its own, but you're not starting from scratch. I think that's maybe what Virgo needs to realize. I also feel this for Pisces as well. So if you have Pisces in your chart, same thing. But what I would say here is that, he needs to expand out into the world. He needs to take up more space in the world as well on the Two of Wands, which I would definitely do here with this card, is like, don't be afraid of taking up more space. Don't be afraid of taking the lead on things that matter to you as well here, Virgo. That will be good. You have the Eight of Cups, which is about walking away from things that no longer serve you, which I also think would be good. Cutting things out that have been holding you back or slowing you down. I would definitely be careful of that with the Eight of Cups. I would make sure to avoid things that have slowed you down in general with this card. I think that would be important as well. You have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is like a perfect match. So I do feel that there could be a perfect match coming in for you here. If you want love, I do feel that this could start as communication. I feel like a lot of excitement here as well. I don't know. I feel good about this for you, Virgo. Some of you are already with a person, and I feel if you are with a person, there could be a lot of progress the rest of the year with that person. Like maybe you're making a deeper commitment or you're taking it to the next level. If you're not with a person, I feel a lot of excitement here. It's almost like, I don't know, it's kind of cute here, Virgo. It's like you can't control yourself around this person. So definitely could be a solid connection. The other thing about the Two of Cups and the fact that we have a Pisces eclipse this month on the 7th, definitely I would listen to your intuition. This card can be you and your higher self. It can be you communicating with your higher self or you receiving downloads from your higher self. It's popping into my head as just a feeling. Where if you feel like you should do something, make a change, upgrade something, I don't know, it's popping into my head as an upgrade, I would do it, whatever it is, like whatever you're feeling like you should do. With the Two of Wands, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles is independence, gratitude, luxuries, it's your focus. It's a really good card for creating more abundance as well. So whatever you're being led to here, I feel could be increasing your abundance. Here you go. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Ten of Wands. Sure, I didn't want to use this camera, but we will. So, Ten of Wands about carrying a heavy burden. With the Eight of Cups, this could be about just removing things that are a freaking burden in your life. It is a great time to do that. 2 eclipses, right? Eclipses are great for cutting the crap out. And so I feel with the Ten of Wands, we have to look at our responsibilities, all of them, every single one. And we have to say, is this mine or is this someone else's? If it's yours, great, keep it. If it's someone else's, get rid of it. Ten of Wands isn't about removing all the wands, because we will always have things that we have to do in life. That's how life works. but it is about lightening the load. The Ten of Wands says, hey, you could probably lighten the load, and that will get you closer to a goal, right? He is about to reach his home. He is about to have a harvest. So I would be looking at the things that you can remove. With the Two of Cups, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, I definitely feel I literally said something about being very happy in this connection. So if you're attracting a connection, I think it will feel like a celebration here, Virgo. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Go the Distance card and this Chaos and Conflict card. I feel like you're healing, it's coming up in the good stuff, so you probably are removing chaos from your life. The Go the Distance card, it makes a lot of sense. We have Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron all in Aries. Although Saturn has just recently retrograded into Pisces, Neptune is also going to be retrograding into Pisces in the near future. So, but what I would say is that all of that has already been in Aries, especially with Saturn having moved into Aries. The trick with Saturn and Aries is you have to pick one thing and see it through to the end, whatever it is. If you do that, you will be not only very happy that you did, but you will be very successful. So I would absolutely do that. You have the Magician, the Queen of Cups, and the World. So the Magician is a card of manifesting, obviously, and he is pointing down to Earth. So he is manifesting something new into his reality. And I feel it could be an amazing time for manifestation for you here, Virgo. I would be practicing manifestation. Sometimes I feel with the Magician that he needs to have a new beginning as well. I do get that feeling. I only ever say that if I feel it. And I do feel that for you, where it's like, in the major arcana, we go from the Fool to the Magician, High Priestess. And sometimes I feel the Fool is kind of like the start. He needs to take a leap of faith. But sometimes I feel he gets to the Magician, the Fool gets to the Magician, and he's like, I wonder, he kind of like hesitates a little bit when he gets to this card. Like he's saying, I wonder what tool I need to use for the job and all this other stuff. He's almost like thinking a little bit too much. And so that's what I feel here. It's an amazing time for you to reinvent yourself. We say it in almost every single reading, Virgo. You are clearly the reinvention master, so there you go. I also always pull the card he's pointing to. I'm going to say it's this one, actually, and it says, take a breath. Yeah, if you need a break, if you need to take a breath, take a breath. You have the Queen of Cups, which is all about following your heart. We are in a very heart-based time, Virgo, so anything you could do to listen to your heart is what I would do with the Queen of Cups. Not much to say there. You have the World, which is an amazing card in the good stuff. The World can be an accomplishment or an achievement. It basically says that you are accomplishing great things at this time. Also, like I said, I feel that you should be taking up more space in the world. I said the same thing to Taurus as well. But there's something about this for you Earth signs. It's if you're going to do something, you have to claim it. You have to like become that thing that you're saying you are. And I wish I had more for you on that, but yeah, I know that sounds simple, but it literally is that simple for Earth signs. I feel that if you say like, oh, I'm going to be a millionaire author, then all you have to do is write every single day like an author would do, and it will happen, right? But it's like you have to make that commitment. Yeah, with the Magician, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving on to calmer shores. A lot of improvements showing up in this reading. You have the Six of Swords twice. So I feel a lot of you are just kind of like creating improvements. Can't make this up. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Fool. I literally said Fool. It's Fool to the World, or Fool to the Magician. We do go from the Fool's journey is he's going from the Fool to the World through the entire major arcana. First card, last card in the major arcana. And so it's funny that you have this right here. Sometimes I feel when we have the Fool and the World like right next to each other, on top of each other, that it's basically saying that you are about to go through a long journey very quickly. And I'm not trying to be overly dramatic here, but I do feel that where you could be making, like 6 years of progress in one. You could be making 6 months of progress in a week, something like that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I do find in life sometimes we do have those breakthrough moments where basically we kind of like wake up to something or we realize like what we need to be doing to create success. And I kind of feel that for you, where it's like you could be having a realization here that really is like 6 months in one, something like that. With the World, you have the Four of Swords. Didn't you have something? A time for healing. Yes, Four of Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering, healing. He's also hoping and praying for a blessing. So coming up in the area of the good stuff, I do feel that some of you could be attracting like some sort of blessing here, Virgo, with the Four Swords that you have been hoping for. So that looks very good. I like to see it. You have this Fox card that says shrewdness and resourcefulness, and especially in business. Yes, all of us, I think, in business and work and career, we have to find the best ways to do things. It's just the time that we're in. You have this younger woman card. It says dealings with relationships, the younger woman. You have this rose. It says romance is in the air. There you go. So definitely a love reading. You could be the younger person. The person you're with could be the younger person. Take it how it resonates. But, I feel that there could be love, clearly. Can't make this one up. You have this March card and this bouquet. It says compliments from an admirer. There you go. For some of you, I feel like this person has been interested in you since like March. So if you met anyone new between like March and now, that could be the admirer, but definitely there is love in this reading. So there you go. You have this carriage. It says journey, either physical or mental. Yes, you have a lot of movement in the reading in general. Six of Swords twice, the world. So if there are any adventures that you could go on, we are in a good time of adventure. And again, I said spice. You have to add more spice to your life. And so going on adventures and exploring new things I lost the card, is a great way to do that. You have this knot card that says unsuccessful plans. I do think you need to be careful. Like if there's something that's definitely not working in your life, I would avoid it overall. But I don't know. I feel pretty good about this reading, Virgo. I really like this one. Definitely one of the better ones this week. I don't know. I kind of feel like this week is a little bit up in the air. I'm not sure how I feel about it. But yours looks good. I'll say that. So thank you for being here. And definitely enjoy your week.